Hello, this is JMX here. Today I'm going to be addressing how to find your specs on your computer or basic information on your computer, some more advanced and some less. But let's jump into this and see how it goes. First we're going to find the most basic information. Now I'm only doing Windows. Um, it's all Windows versions are basically the same with what I'm doing and how to find the information that you're looking for, your specs. But Linux, I have no clue on, so let's stay away from that. For basic information, you're going to go to here on your file. It might also be here for some of you, documents and pictures or where else you keep it. But once you're in this place, you're going to go to this PC over here. Click on that. It might be my PC if you're using Windows 7 or XP or further back. Most people don't have Windows 8, but it's also the same. Now I'm going to right click on this big void over here. It might be white for you. I just chose a dark theme. Now you're going to click on properties. And over here you're going to have your basic information that all Windows operating systems have this. So it tells you your processor. So this is important for you. What's more important is not necessarily the type of generation you have, but more so what clock speeds you have and that type of stuff. Then it's also going to tell you what type of RAM you have. Not type, sorry. We'll jump into that later for more detail. But now it'll just tell you how much RAM you have. The type does matter, but this is just for basic information. System type, 64-bit. If you're running 64-bit, that's very, very good. It's basic, the new base thing, and will be for a while, I believe. If you're running 32-bit, it's not a problem. It's just a little bit slower on being up to date, you could say, simple terms. But if you're running 32-bit, you can't use 64-bit games and 64-bit compatible programs. You'll have to stay with 32-bit. It's not a big deal, but it does improve performance in the long run. Then the rest of this is not really important. But if you are looking for product ID, then that's over there, whatever. Anyhow, also you'll look at what Windows you actually have. Windows 10 Pro is what I'm running, but yeah, that also isn't very important in regards to gaming and stuff, or office work as well. It's not really important. Next we're going to look at is how to find your graphics card information. Now this is also different, especially if you're using laptops compared to desktops. For laptops in general, I have to address this. Laptops are all different, but you do get two particular differences. You get gaming computers, laptops, and you get office computers, laptops. Now, office laptops use their CPU as their graphics card. Now, gaming computer laptops, they can have an external or internal graphics card which can be removed and upgraded. Now, if that is the case, if you're using a gaming laptop, you'll know immediately. Just right-click on your wallpaper, your desktop, and you'll see here, you might have NVIDIA or AMD or whatever else it is that you're running, but you'll know it immediately. It will be graphics settings. So if you are running that, click on this for whatever you're running, and for me, it tells me immediately what graphics card I have. I'm running GeForce GTX 650. So that is your specs, and that's all you need to know. For further information on that, you'll have to go online or something, or you can follow through the video and you'll see it other way. Now, laptops that don't have built-in graphics cards, they're not easy to find the specs. There are programs which I'll be speaking of later in this video, but generally you can just type in the make and model of your laptop. It should be a sticker on your right hand side, left hand side. Sometimes it's underneath, and you can Google that and it'll normally give you the specs of your computer. Generally quite easy to find. There are many different sites you'll have to go into. Generally that make of company for that laptop will often give you a dedicated site for it, and they'll have the specs for you. So it's quite easy. From there, we'll be addressing how to find the RAM. I myself have made a program for that, which I'll be leaving in the description. So if you want to go check that out, you can. It just tells you the RAM type. So if you run DDR1, 2, 3, or 4, which is the newest thing, this will tell you that. Also, it'll tell you if a RAM is good. It can tell you how many slots of RAM you have, which is very important if you're running a desktop or laptop. And it can tell you how much RAM you have in each slot, which can be very helpful. I'll show you now. I'm just going to go to it now. And this is the CPU. There we go. Memory testing. I'll leave this in the description for you guys. And you can just see it running here. There you go. So over here it'll tell you the speed that your RAM is running at, which is very, very useful. It tells you exactly how much RAM you have. So I have 10 and so many extra. Yeah, it gets a bit confusing because computers work in 2s and then 4s and 8s. So over here it'll tell you the type, and then they'll tell you the memory type. This is what you want to look for. How many DIMMs you have. That's how many slots of RAM you actually have and can be used. So that will tell you which RAM is in which slot, which can be helpful for you, I suppose. The capacity, so how much RAM you actually have in that slot. So that can be helpful for you. This is the best way I have found for finding these type of details and information. So I would recommend you using this. There might be other ways I'm unaware of, but this is the one that I found best. So you guys can try it and check the code. It's perfectly safe. But yeah, now we're going to jump into other programs which you can use now for testing your PC's performance and knowing exactly what specs you actually have. One program many people or gamers might be aware of, which they don't actually realize it is a program, and I'm addressing programs in particular. So it's actually Windows Game Mode. It's a program, and I know this because you can download it in the App Store. It's also a program which you could find in Windows Deep Files. So it is a program, and it's very useful. It tells you your CPU's performance, 3.2 gigahertz, so that's very useful. It tells you your GPU's actual amount of RAM, which is remarkably incredible because not even my control panel tells me how much RAM I actually have on my graphics card. Then your actual RAM for your computer, it tells you exactly how much RAM the computer can use, which is more useful because most of the time you have, let's say, 12 gigs, but the operating system can only use 11 gigs, like we see here. I have 10 gigs, but I can only use 9.9 gigabytes. And then when you're doing gaming, it tells you FPS and stuff. That is very useful. And then you just click out of it. Another way of finding your performance and what specs you might be running is you can use Geekbench. So let's go into that. Geekbench, so we can see it here. You can download this. It's very easy to find. It's like the first thing that pops up in Google, and you're going to run this. I'm just going to click internet quickly. Later. So this is very helpful. It immediately tells you some specs which you might find useful to yourself, and then from there you can also see your 60. That's cool. Now you can run CPU benchmarks and run computer benchmarks. So I'm just going to run a CPU benchmark to show you that and see how it actually runs. While this is taking place, it will take a little while and just let it do its thing. It should be fairly quick. It varies from computer to computer depending on your performance. So while that's going through, I'm also going to show you some other things you might find helpful related to performance and other things. More I'll address in other things, but yeah. Just see this run quickly. Shouldn't be long. Okay, and once that's done, yeah, this will start showing up, and then they'll give you your single core score, which tells you for every single. Yep, you know what that means, I'm sure. So like I have 4 cores, and now that's 1 core. So now there's your multi-core score, all 4 cores put together. So yeah, this just gives you that little bit of information that you might require for, like, I don't know, perhaps you want to tell. But here you go, it tells you DDR, so this is DDR3 that I'm running, what frequency of RAM I'm running. Yeah, so this can be helpful to you. This is actually one of the best ways I've found for finding your specs of your computer and exactly what performance you have. So if you want to like test out your computers all at home and start comparing, wouldn't recommend it, but sure, go ahead, because like people fight. Anyhow, so that's helpful, and then that's it. If you like this video and you found it helpful, hit the like button, and if you want to like find out some more about your computer, please leave a comment in the comment section about what other videos I should do, and hit the subscribe button, and I'm sure it'll pop up soon. Also, you might want to hit the bell button, I don't know. But thanks very much, and bye.